grow up, we gonna have PTS stories about the anime gaming community. The amount of cheese and anything we do to win, not we, but a lot of y'all be doing to win, is akin to some World War II horror stories. So are we gonna remember this game in an honorable fashion, or is it just gonna be another failed arena fighter? You know what I mean? Today, Kaizen, Kuma, and I, we're here to bring you a discussion about the community, some of the ideas that you and I can do to make it better. This is gonna be the uncut version. If you want to see like a highlighted version, go to his channel and yeah, tap into this discussion going.
How do you feel about the space right now?
The space? All right, let me see if I got everything going. Cool, I got everything going. All right, for the space of this game, I think it's like halfway there, where it's like there's hella dope people in the community. Like, I've been streaming obviously, and there's hella dope people in there. There's dope people that I fight. Like in your video you said there's some nigga you fought who you went back and beam clash with. Like, I found people still like that every once in a while when I'm playing ranked normally, who don't like know me or anything. It's just like off the strength of their heart. But then you got the other side of the community that just wants to win 24/7, so they're just kind of spamming all the broken OP characters, all the OP strats. I think one of the scummiest things going on right now would be that vanish assault bug, where people are purposely spamming it to drop your combos. I'm like, dog, you're literally abusing a bug in the game just to win. So I think the community is like halfway there, and the devs kind of got to patch out a little stuff to force out some of the lamer play styles. But at this point, the community is either gonna live by the sword or die by the sword of like what they create. That's like my thoughts on the community right now. What about you?
Well, for sure, I feel like it's still better than what I thought it was gonna be in terms of like Naruto, at least, because like I said, I've come from like a way worse environment, and there was never any improvement. It just always went downhill. But there's still kind of that steady bridge you can walk on where you can still find dope people. Like the other day, I was streaming, I joined a random endless. First stream, I got super fucking lucky. Came back, started up stream, joined a random endless, and it was just full Z's, and they were chill ass Z's. Like, no Gojitas, no UIs, no bullshit, like combo dropping shit, bro. It was straight hands. Like how we played yesterday, that's how they were playing. Or was the day before yesterday, but
one of those days.
It was straight fucking hands. And then I was like, yo, y'all trying to do a tournament? And then they added me into a group, and it was like, that's their group. Like, that's all how they play. And I was like, oh shit, so there's really like smaller groups of people around the community that still want the shit, that just don't exploit. They're not playing meta. They're literally just playing the game as intended. Like, the shit's fun for them. So there's still hope. Seeing that, you know, this late in the game, there's still hope. It's not like we're fucked. You know, I hate when people say that, like, this game is cooked. Oh my God, it's dead. I hate those you know, baity videos, because there's too many people on this game for it to be dead.
Yeah,
and
like,
there's still way too many positive people for this community to be completely toxic. Like, and I do want to say this in the vid, like, the point of the vids that I make, I know a lot of people are like, well, you're just hopping on the wagon, you're just being negative about the game because it's what gets views. I'm basically just talking about my perception of what I go through daily, trying to make my content, which leads up to the rage videos and leads up to like, why can't y'all just play the fucking game? And that doesn't mean that the game is cooked, because if it wasn't cooked, I wouldn't be like trying to make a space where it's not cooked, to bring all the non-cooked people into the oven. If that makes any sense, I wouldn't be trying to do that.
That was a good one.
If it was futile, I wouldn't be trying to even do that. I would have just went fucking to Marvel Rivals like a lot of people did. So
yeah, just drop the game on some Naruto.
I would just drop the game. So, you know, the game isn't cooked. You know, it's not completely all bad. You will find chill people. It's just far and wide, as I would say. But that's my perspective of the community. It's not completely done. There's work to be done, but you know, I think it can be worked on.
Yeah, the only bad thing is that if the community don't make like any decent changes, like you were saying, you just found people in player. A lot of people play ranked, so the more people don't change, the more less characters you're gonna see on ranked, and then you're gonna have to get into like a clan or something like that, or a nice little group where you can fight some good people. And that's a double-edged sword, because I feel like over time the community will get smaller. So I do want to say, like, yeah, there's good people out there, but the bad people, I'm gonna talk about this nigga real quick. There's this nigga named Cool Boy Breezy. I don't know what's going on fully with him, but he showed me a clip of how he played, and how he played was low-key the issue with the game, because then he'll come in my comments and he'll be like, oh, this game sucks, blah blah blah, but you'll send me a clip of you vanish assault cheesing, key blast cheesing with UI, spamming everything with UI. So I'm like, you can't be doing that in ranked and then expect the game to be good when you're causing other low ranked players to get annoyed and switch that play style. Because I just watched that on Julio video and he was talking about the same thing where it's like, you can't fully get mad at these niggas who are like A rank getting to S rank playing UI because they're playing ranked and they're playing higher ranked people who are cheesing the fuck out of them. So it kind of brings them into their oven and starts cooking them to be some cheesers. So that's my little side of it, double-edged sword type shit. But I mentioned Naruto. I want to talk about for like a second again. I've briefly talked about this over chat, but what are your opinions after patch? I guess this will be both. What are your opinions on sparking after patch? Do you like it better or do you like it worse? And then do you think in return that makes it still better than Naruto or like worse or equal?
I definitely think it's way better. You can't roll. Like, that was my biggest pet peeve in this game. Roll ulting, like playing neutral, beating the shit out of somebody. They get all their skill points and then they can roll ult twice and kill you. That was my biggest pet peeve in this game. And now that that's kind of dealt with, there's a lot more neutral. And I'm very happy with the update. I just wish combos don't drop. And for me, it could be because I was at my dad's house and his TV was delayed, so I kind of had to readjust my playstyle there. And now that I'm back, I have to readjust again. But for me, super counters don't be coming out. Like the other day, you did like 10 BNBs on my back, and I legit could not super counter for the life of me. And I feel like that's either my skill issue and I have to readjust, like learning it, or my inputs aren't going through. I don't know which to make of it yet, but that's kind of my only pet peeve. I have no idea. Oh, other than that, I think the playstyles are a lot more manageable. I haven't really fought anybody annoying. The only thing that's annoying is DP, and that's again because of the stall shit that I talked about. Dude's playing like Raccoon, fucking 2 DP characters just to like buy up time, run away. That's legit it. In terms of people with double dash, I know a lot of people have said they're not really happy with the double dash changes, but I am. The hyper movement behind people, I forgot what it's called. I think it is double dash.
Hyper speed dash or
hyper speed dash.
Z-burst to go behind.
Yeah, Z-burst.
Okay.
I personally like it. It forces people to play a lot more neutral because what you would have pre-patch is just people doing a combo and then just Z-bursting behind you.
Looping.
Just looping it over and over. And it didn't necessarily require that much skill because that's all people did.
Yeah, I agree.
That's all the videos kind of taught people to do. So it's like, oh, this is how you play Sparking online. This is how you combo.
Yeah, you kind of
BNB double dash, BNB double dash, pull off a super, BNB double dash. It was very, repetitive, annoying ass gameplay. Whereas now you meet a lot more people. Oh shit, like this dude I'm playing. Okay. Like you meet a lot more people who are willing to fucking, do the neutral. They'll dash. You kind of have to know it in order to beat it, because if you rely on certain characters or abilities, you're not going to be able to get to the person. And as an exchange, you can literally just outstall somebody and kill them. They have to come to you if you have the health lead. So I do like that, because I fought plenty of UIs this patch that would just stand there in the air. And I'm like, what are you doing, buddy? Like, you got to come to me. I do not have to go over there. Like, if they try to spam the key blast shit, it doesn't work because I'm across the map. So
no, I agree.
I think the patch is great. Definitely better than pre-patch. I'm not a fan of combos dropping every time someone like vanishes or side dashes. I do see people exploiting it on purpose. They're not loved, but I think it's a way better turnover than, getting key blast spammed from behind or forward and then getting rolled.
Yeah, that was boring as fuck, bro. You go against a Broly and they just lock you in place and you're dead.
Yeah. And this is not about like, oh, I couldn't vanish it because, it got to the skill ceiling where it became normal and it was like easy to fight against, but that shouldn't be a thing. You get on these games for fun. It shouldn't have to sit there and learn this wild shit.
Yeah, you're doing some like equation in your head on how to fucking approach someone with all their cheese.
I should not have to do that. But as for the balance of Naruto, now that the balance is out, and it's way more balanced than pre-patch, I think that just further equates to how much it is from Naruto. And I have to say this for the record for the video. Please put this in. Somebody was like, oh, well, there's no real neutral in Sparking Zero, so technically in Naruto. And I was like, and this is something I've said in my own past videos, I don't think Naruto people understand terminologies of FGC because they don't properly define neutral. Their version of neutral is being able to move. And I'm like, that's not exactly what neutral is, but all right.
Sure, it's a part of neutral, but
it's a part of it, but
not
like,
the whole thing.
The chess match is what neutral is. That part. Naruto, there is no chess. If you have a certain kit, due to her ability, you are guaranteed that turn. You're not risking anything, so there's no real neutral.
Yeah, I feel like the UI Goku of those games is just having crazy supports that play neutral for you.
Exactly. And no matter what outcome you get, you win. There is no guess. So the concept of neutral in Naruto is non-existent because if you have a certain ability or kit, you will win. It's not a question.
Yeah, and they only exacerbated it.
Yeah, versus Dragon Ball. Now with the patch, you have to kind of play neutral. Yes, you can stall with DP, but I'm talking about single player, which is kind of like the main purpose of the game. If you're a UI versus, let's say, a Krillin, yes, he has a stronger kit, but at some point you kind of do have to play neutral. That's assuming the Krillin doesn't just let you charge at the top of the map and hit you with crazy ults. That's
and just spark all the time.
Right. That's assuming he understands the game and gets to you. But no matter what, at some point y'all have to box. You got to play the neutral. So, Storm doesn't have that at all, whereas Sparking does. So, that's my response to like Storm versus Sparking.
Yeah, and I basically
Sparking
agree with everything.
Outblows Naruto out the water.
Really? Why the game is more alive than it is compared to the connections at the same time they were released. So also the game's done way more patches. I don't even think the game was patched on our first discussion. So I feel like the game being patched this much, regardless of how you feel about the state of the game, kind of proves they care more and that it's probably a better game just off looking at that. If you're like a new person, you're like, which game is more balanced? Probably the one that's been patched more frequently since it's came out. That's that for the post-patch and the pre-patch. What are like some changes you'd like to see, since you said you are a lot happy with the patch, but what are some changes you'd like to see? I'm guessing combos dropping, getting fixed is obviously one of them.
That's definitely one of them. People might look at me crazy for this, but I would like to see super counters cost something. And I only say this because back before, when I could super counter consistently, even doing it consistently, it does become very stale and boring if both parties know how to super counter, like bots. And it kind of comes down to this copy and paste game part. Like, you do 3 hits, they super counter, they do 3 hits, you super counter, and then it's just a vanish war. So I think requiring key will force more neutral, or at least don't make it require key. There's multiple fixes to this, but if you don't make it require key, then I think you should stop super counter at a certain limit and then play out like an animation or something.
I agree. And in my first video I ever made, I said, because I was looking at it for my State of Sparking video I made a couple days ago, I was looking at the points I made and I was like, I think super counters should not make you do a vanish war. It should just reset neutral. That's what I think super counters should do, to be honest. I don't know if you like that. I feel like you hit one super counter, there is no vanishing the second super counter. There is no super countering the super counter. It just resets neutral. I think that's what it should be. Like a skiller version of a Sonic Sway that doesn't take key from your opponent. I think that's what that should do. I don't know if you agree with that, but I think that would make the vanishing war issue and all that.
For sure.
Yeah, because then you would just have more hands in a sense. It wouldn't be like, oh, we just super counter to super counter to super counter to vanish war. It's like, all right, I'm super countering you to get off me so we can box again, not so I could put you in some weird cheesy vanish war like where you bounce off the ground and then I hit you with a super type shit off a super counter that takes no key. That's where I do understand where people get annoyed, because it's like sometimes you can hit the super counter, sometimes you can't, and then if you don't, you're going against like a UI Goku or someone with 4 to 5 follow-ups who's gonna cheese, like do like 15 to 20k damage off of that. So like doing 15 to 20k damage would be more rewarding and obviously happen less if it was only off of combos and not vanish war wins off a super counter that sometimes is just random, to be honest. So that's my take on the super counter. I can definitely see where you're coming from, where you're like, it needs to cost something or it needs a change. It probably does need a little change as the game goes on because it's a core part of the game.
Yep. And for people saying they should completely take it out,
no,
I think you're nuts. I think if someone gets behind you, you're dead if they do that. And now that double dashing or whatever the fuck it is, like Z dashing takes more key. Good luck trying to get behind your opponent. And yeah, I think that's a horrible idea, especially with some characters' kits. That's basically begging for meta. Because why would I play a regular character when I could play a higher tier character that can pull off more combo strings that you can't super counter now into an ultimate that's probably gonna kill you.
Literally.
So yeah, that's my thoughts on super counter. It's definitely a necessary evil.
Yeah, I agree. I got like 2 more things. They're not complaining at all anymore. What are some DLC characters you'd like to see?
Gohan.
Yeah.
Gohan. Beast Gohan or Super Gohan, I should say. I want to see Bojack combine Gohan as well. I want him to have his own moveset. And,
You know they ain't gonna do that. That'd be cool.
I totally want them to have their moveset.
I'm a crazy man. I want something they're not gonna do. I want a what if DLC pack. That's what I want. Like if they just made a bunch of characters had like cool ass transformations, as in like, I don't know, like bringing back Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta, which I guess is now, you know, a part of the series or whatever, but like, I don't know, Super Saiyan 3 Broly, Super Saiyan 4 Broly, some shit like that. What if pack of just dope characters, Black Gohan, like even though he should have been in the game, I think things like that would be hella dope. That's what I want. I obviously want the characters like Super 17 and Pycon and some of the characters that should have been in the game, but I'm like a what if DLC type of guy. What if characters. When Raging Blast 2 came out and you could play as Super Saiyan 3, I think it was actually in 1 that it first came out, where you can play Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta and Broly. That shit was awesome, and they kind of brought it back in this game, but then they hoed us by not letting us play as the character. So that's what I want. I want a what if DLC pack.
Yes, he would be sick. They do have some good Xenoverse like what if characters.
Literally just do some shit like that. Also, Android 21, I don't care too much about her, but I do think she should be in the game. So I wouldn't mind seeing her in the game also.
For gameplay purposes, of course.
Yeah, gameplay purposes.
Of course.
You know,
I know this isn't like what characters I'd like, but in terms of game modes, I think we need a co-op mode bad.
How exactly would that work?
So this is something also self-plug that I'm trying to kind of do in the Discord thing I'm working on right now for the clan battles, but there's like 3 routes they can do. They can do the fighters route where they have like 3 or 2 people on one team versus a strong ass AI with multiple health bars.
Okay.
People switch out and they take turns. They could do that. They could go the Marvel versus Capcom route where you have like one person on one team with, or I should say Mortal Kombat. I think Mortal Kombat actually did this. Mortal Kombat, not 1. It was the one before X. The one for PS4. No, PS3, I'm sorry.
9.
The one where you could tag team.
Yeah, 9.
I think it was 9, yeah. Where you could basically do like 2 people on a team versus 2 people on the other team.
They need that. I said that too before.
Change. That's a must. Or you can do the third option, which I was gonna do, which is like a community-based mode where people have lives on their team, and if you kill the person, they're like completely out for the amount of lives that you put, or timed. It depends on like what conditions you
like stocks.
Yeah, exactly. Those would be like the 3 different ways you could implement a community mode.
That was actually a point I forgot to put down about what game modes you'd like to see. So that's a good point. I agree with all those points, as in like I would like to see those modes. I don't see why they wouldn't put them in the game. I'm definitely a big proponent of, I guess one we haven't mentioned that I've mentioned before, I would like something where it's like a theme battle where you could like be like, I want to play a player match and there's some like stipulations where I'm gonna do like a Saiyans only mode, so I only fight against, I don't know, like 6 to 7 DP Saiyans, no fucking Ultra Instincts or shit, but it's like you can only pick Saiyans, or you can only pick human fighters, and you can include Piccolo, I don't know, sure, but like you can only fight against Krillins, Yamchas. I feel like that would be a cool mode, and incentivize character variety. People will probably want to learn characters more because they have a safer mode to go to. I'm not gonna hop on player match or ranked and play as Krillin against a bunch of Gogetas and UIs. I can play against other Krillins and Yamchas, and if I never want to play against UIs, I can. Also, I'm gonna make a video about this. We're just gonna throw this topic in here too, though. How do you feel about character bans?
I think like in general, like if it was a game mode, or are you talking about like competitive?
Low key in general, like the option to player ban in player matches.
I think it's a must.
I think that's a must. I think in ranked, I think you should have a couple people you can character ban if you want to, in my opinion. I don't know how you feel about that, but I feel like if I play ranked, I should have the option to ban 2 to 3 characters, and those 2 to 3 characters could be something like Whis, Gogeta, and UI. You're still gonna have to fight Vegetos and shit, but if there's some broken ass character in the meta that is obviously unbalanced, everyone's gonna ban him, meaning no one who plays him is gonna get games, meaning they're forced to get off that character if they are completely broken. Because if they're completely broken, no one's gonna want to fight him. You're probably gonna want to fight a Broly who's a fucking annoying, but you're probably gonna want to fight him more than the most broken character. So I got a video coming, that self-plug on that part. I do think character bans are needed, and I'm happy you agree. So for the last point, which is funny you said self-plug, my last point was just your self-plug, and we've kind of already talked a little bit about it, but like how you building this community that you want to do. I know you're trying to build a nice community, like you said, of people who play. Like, what are your goals with that and all that?
So I'll give y'all the history on like what even sparked this, and how and what goals I'll have, and how I'm gonna make sure I hit those goals so I don't make the same mistakes I did before. So I've been trying to kind of doing this since the Storm days. This has kind of been a goal I've been consistently trying to do, of like just creating an in-house community of people who just want to game out and have fun outside of meta, and just the same shit that you run into online. It's very frustrating. The last time I tried to do this was Connections. I had a good run, but I messed up because, one, I stopped working on it myself, and I allowed myself to kind of mix with other people's goals instead of like working on what I want to do. I allowed it to become too intertwined, and I was never able to fulfill like what I actually said I was going to do, which is why the server started to die. But now that sparking is out there, and I see it's kind of a copy and paste of what Storm had, and I know what not to do and what people are looking for. I feel like I can provide exactly that. And for that reason, what I'm trying to do is, like I said, create a kind of a PS environment where you used to be able to hop online with your friends. And again, most of the people who come from this environment are like-minded in the fact that we don't really care too much on the characters you pick. We just want to enjoy the game, you know, at its base form and have fun. That doesn't mean you have to ban super attacks or ban certain characters. You know, it's just the play style aspect of how much do you give a fuck about winning to the point where you're willing to do anything to get it. You know, most people in that environment truthfully do not care. And you know, with that being said, that's just something I'm trying to capitalize and bring together. So far it's going pretty well. And with that being said, I'm also trying to bring new community game modes into the game, such as the clan battle system, where you can have a group of people be on one team and fight the other team. And with that aspect, I don't have to really worry too much about bans and like limiting players, because again, since we all kind of already agree on like the most part how the game should be played, or what cheese is, then you don't really need to limit anything if we all agree, if that makes any sense.
Really, no, it makes perfect sense.
Already like-minded, so that's another reason why I really want to keep it in-house and not try to worry about mixing and matching too much, because if you try to cater to too many people, then you know it just won't work. That's kind of what happened with the Storm community, where it's like comp players and casual. It doesn't work. Some people care more about winning in their stats, and some people just want to hop on and play the game. That doesn't make you a horrible person, but it does make it very difficult to cater to both parties if they have different ideologies. So, but yeah, that's the whole goal. So if y'all watch Pristine's videos, and if y'all watch my stuff, and y'all feel like y'all agree with the way we play, and y'all enjoy our play styles in general, 9 times out of 10 it's probably because you agree with what we're doing, and then that definitely is the place for you. I recommend you guys joining. We're going to start getting some community events going, some tournaments, some open endlesses, and that way when you hop online, let's say you're tired, you get off work, you don't gotta hop online, you don't gotta be fighting these crazy ass characters, you don't gotta fight install teams. You can play in-house DP matches, you can play in-house tournaments, in-house endlesses,
singles, team battles, whatever.
You just have fun. Be like, yo, let's throw a theme on, or play with whoever you want, and you don't have to worry about the stigma of, oh, he's got a UI,
Yeah, like if y'all two are cool with that, then y'all two are cool with that.
Exactly. It's fine because the other person is like, all right, cool. 9 times out of 10, again, you're not going to cheese with the character anyway because you genuinely enjoy him. So the other person understands that, and then there you go. It's a peaceful couch environment. So, that's the end goal.
Yeah, basically peaceful couch gaming, if that is what you come here for. Like, that's what we want, because at the end of the day, that's kind of what this game was made for. I'm definitely more of a competitive guy, but I'm not that competitive to the point where I'm just going to use broken shit the whole time. So yeah, I'm happy that we're starting to try to like make this community and shit. I'm happy when people pull up in stream and they don't play like cheesers, because that, like he said, that means we're like-minded. That's probably why you watch us, because we're not just using the same 2 broken characters or whatever. There's variety. So if y'all want to fight against a variety, have fun, learn new tech, because it's hard to learn tech against cheese the whole time, it's probably going to be the community for you. But yeah, with that, shout out to Kaizen. Nice little community discussion we got going on. Probably going to be more of these going on, whether it's with Kaizen or other people, more group discussions and whatever, because discussions are what push these games forward anyways. If we're just stagnant and not talking and just taking the beating of the game and being like, oh, we love the game, then it's not going to get changed. They're just going to move on. So I'm going to continue to have these discussions. Kaizen's going to continue to build his community. I'm going to help with it. And I hope y'all like the discussion. I hope this convinces any cheesers or whatever to reform their play styles a little bit too.
Absolutely. Appreciate you for having me, dude.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you for coming on.
Check out Pristine. Yes, sir.
All right, and check out Kaizen.
Yes, sir.
All right, good shit.